Leighton Vander Esch has become a household name over the last 6 months, from earning Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year honors to Mountain West Championship Game MVP to turning heads at the NFL Scouting Combine. This kid from Riggins, Idaho, population 406, is on the verge of becoming a first-round NFL draft pick. Hi, I'm Jesse Kurtz in the Mountain West Network studio. One man who has had a front row seat to the entire journey is Salmon River High School football coach Charlie Shepard, who joins us now from Riggins, Idaho. Charlie, appreciate you making some time for us. When did you have the inclination that Leighton Vander Esch had this sort of athletic ceiling? Not only could play in the NFL, but to potentially become a first-round NFL draft pick?
Of course, Leighton started for me as a freshman on defense at linebacker. But my first real inclination was probably his sophomore year when he stepped in the first round of the state playoffs, and I didn't put him in until the second half at quarterback, and he stepped in there and just completely took over the game. He almost single-handedly brought us back from deficit to win that game. We ended up losing by just a couple points, but that's probably when I realized that this kid was something really special, and that he had a chance to go for sure to the next level.
Well, here he is on the verge of going to the next level, and when Leighton was deciding on whether or not to declare for the NFL draft, he leaned heavily on you for some advice. Tell me about those conversations that led up to the decision to ultimately go pro.
Well, you know, I've been a lifelong Boise State fan. I mean, I bleed blue with the best of them. And you know, for my own selfish reasons, I wanted Leighton to go back to Boise State, but at the same time, I realized that he had such a great season this year, that he, you know, had so much good press, and with the chance of possibly getting, you know, some kind of injury going into his senior year, that for Leighton's sake, by far and away, this was the best time for him to go. So, you know, he of course had allegiance to Boise State. He's a team player, always has been. But I told him at some point, you got to start thinking of yourself and your future.
NFL teams certainly do their homework on potential draft picks. Have you received any inquiries from NFL teams asking about Leighton, his past, what you know about him?
Absolutely. Yeah, I had the New England Patriots organization call me. They wanted a complete history of his high school career, both offense and defense. I thought that was a little bit interesting, the amount of questions that they asked about him as an offensive player. I had the Los Angeles Rams organization call me. Green Bay Packers sent me a questionnaire on, you know, in the mail. So there's been a couple, and it's been a real honor. As an 8-man coach, you don't ever expect to get those phone calls or those letters.
Leighton was a 3-sport athlete at Salmon River High School. How did that help him become the football player that he is today? Because rare is the athlete anymore that does play 3 sports, excels in 3 sports, but here he is, a guy that didn't focus on just one, but I would imagine that helped him become the athlete and the NFL prospect that he is.
There's no doubt that I think playing 3 sports develops individual skills that you wouldn't normally have without playing those 3 sports. And in Leighton's case, it's even more exceptional what he accomplished in those 3 sports, considering that he only had one coach throughout all of them. And I think, you know, especially in basketball, if he would have had a little better quality coaching in basketball, he could have done really even more than he did there. So no doubt that when you play 3 sports, what keeps you focused and hungry, you know, come each season, you never get bored and burn out on just football or just basketball.
I've read on the district website, the Salmon River Joint School District website, that the district's motto is, quote, "From small beginnings come great things." How appropriate is it right now that Leighton Vander Esch, coming from that school, the town of Riggins, now on the verge of becoming an NFL draft pick? What is life like now at Salmon River High School and maybe the elementary school and the junior high school, knowing that one of their own is about to fulfill a lifelong dream?
You can just feel the excitement building. there's a little bit of almost disbelief, denial. It's almost we'll believe it when we see it sort of deal, but there's no doubt that everybody here has always really loved Leighton and looked up to him, but he's going to go to a stratosphere that we haven't seen yet in a small town like this, and mostly I think some of us are still in kind of disbelief. We just can't believe what we're seeing.
How will you use this example of Leighton working himself into this chance, this moment in his life? How will you use it as a mentor and as a coach going forward?
Well, it's going to be such a huge motivation tool for kids that are right on the border of whether they can or can't do it, and the fact that Leighton has proven that there is no boundaries, there is no ceiling, and proven that if you work hard and you tend to business and you're a good person, that good things will happen to you. And it's as a motivation factor, I mean, it is just priceless for me.
What's been the best part about this journey for you personally?
Someone finally get the recognition and the opportunity to do what I knew they could do the whole time, and their hard work pay off. It's just so satisfying and gratifying that we've had so many small town kids from Idaho just get passed by, and for one of them finally to get the chance to prove what he can do, that's probably the most satisfying thing for me.
So the best is yet to come. You've been asked by Leighton to be with him and his family in Dallas when his name is called. What do you anticipate that moment in time being like?
For a kid, for me, speaking of myself, I was born and raised football. I mean, I had those visions of playing in the NFL when I was a little kid. So to be down there and to be mixing up with the greatest football minds in the world, coaching staff and such, that this is like the closest to a dream come true I'm ever going to get. And the honor of being there, I'm just a victim of hard work, and truly grateful for having the chance and the honor to go down there.
Well, as a lifelong Boise State fan, and Leighton Vander Esch, a lifelong Boise State fan, how much did he grow and benefit as a walk-on in that program, and given the chance to come into his own at Boise State and grow into the player that he is? How much did Boise State and the coaching that they have there in that environment make an impact on who he is today?
I don't think there's another Division I program in the country that would have done for Leighton what Boise State did to him, because I truly believe that most Division I programs, especially 8-man players coming into 11-man, wouldn't even have given him a legitimate chance. Everything that Leighton's accomplished since he's left high school is attributed because of Boise State gave him the chance. I truly believe there's several, usually there's several players every year that could come out and actually come close to what Leighton's done, but they just don't get the chance. So Boise State gets all the credit for that, because no matter how hard Leighton worked and no matter what he could accomplish, if he wouldn't have got the chance that Boise State gave him, he'd have nothing today.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time today and enjoy this ride. It truly is something special.
Well, I sure am honored to come on your show, and like I say, I'm just along for the ride. So this has just really been fun. So thank you.
You bet. It is quite a ride. That's Charlie Shepard, the head coach at Salmon River High School in Riggins, Idaho, and mentor to Leighton Vander Esch. By the way, the NFL Draft kicks off in Dallas at AT&T Stadium on April 26th. This feature has been brought to you by Mountain America Credit Union, the official credit union of the Mountain West. From the Mountain West Network studio, I'm Jesse Kurtz.